Shalom, Kalalayam, La Alahainawam, Yahawam, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Makablash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation unto the angel of 44,000. This lesson here, was inspired by a topic I was having with, a past worker. He, as the scripture says, there was zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Because we had a brief discussion about that name. Well, I was telling him that this is why you all have to get out of that mindset of that name Jesus, because be real, the name Jesus just means good pig, right? You gotta do your history on it. Now I went into the word Jesus already. A lesson called Good Ship Jesus or something to that effect. Brought out a little history on it and whatnot. Right, so I'm just gonna run through some few precepts here that just proves outright that the Lord's name is not Jesus. He would have a Hebrew name. Right, so first I will start off in Proverbs 18 and 10. It says, the name of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, is a strong tower. The righteous run it into it, and it's safe. Right, so the righteous would run into it. Because the Lord names a strong tower. Because remember, in the book of Ezekiel 36, right, and on about 21 somewhere there, right, the Lord said, but I had pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen whither they went. Right? Because remember, Israel was going off in this time, and Israel, this whole chapter is to be read it. So you can get the understanding. But I read that because when the Lord talk about having pity for his name, it means to say what he hated. Because remember, if you're doing wickedness and you just profaning the Lord's name and saying all these different things, you call the Lord name in vain, then you taking the Lord for a clown. Remember, the Lord name and power in it. That's why we read the Proverbs 18 just now. Is a strong tower. You understand? So if you're doing wickedly and you just call on the Lord name, that's why even now you can see for yourself, unlike Bishop Nathaniel and them who had the name, they don't even call upon the name again, because why? The Lord taking that away from them, because they preaching falsely, and saying Jesus is the same and all this other nonsense. Right? The Lord removed that Holy Spirit from him, so that way he probably can't even pronounce the Lord's name again, or if he can, the Lord not allowing him to use it, because why? He's a wicked guy. You understand? So big sense out of nonsense, right? Because even when you read the book, the prologue, of Sirach, right? Sirach 1 and 1. Right, I went into this the other day. Let me see exactly where to start. Right, I'm about here. So this is again Sirach 1 and 1, where it says, wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language. Right? So people look at it as a minute thing, like, to say it just well, they wouldn't even know the name is Yahushai or Yahweh, right? They would say it translates from Yahweh to Yeshua and then to Jesus and all this other nonsense, right? Even if it was like that, it still don't have power in it, because why? It been watered down, because again, if it is somebody who's calling you out of your name, and they say, well, your name is Spanish, like, let's say You meet a girl named Shania, you know, and her name in Spanish is actually I should say Alia, because funny enough, the Spanish in my would be saying that, right? They say her name is Alia, but they will call her Maria because they to them it sounds better in Spanish, right? Even though it's two different names, but it's similar in terms of pronunciation and whatnot, right? They will say, hey, they don't like Alia, they like Maria. You understand? But it doesn't mean it's correct, you know? Because think about it, right? The Lord's name, He's a Hebrew God, right? For us, so-called black people, or those of us who speak English, we would have names that relate into English, like the same Aliyah, you might have Stefan, Joshua, stuff like these, names that come onto us, right? But in Spanish, you would hear some weird names. You would hear like Maria is is more Spanish, but English people have it. But it has some weird names like William Elias or Luslini or Yetzi. Weird names like that would sound weird to us, but normal for them because that is basically their language, right? Same thing with Chinese. You might hear, or I should say Japanese, which might pretty much be the same thing. You might hear Tomoya or some kind of weird shit. I was watching anime, but for some reason I can't come to me right now. You know, but Tatsuya and stuff like that. Those is not things that you hear in English. So the moral of it is that if you think about it, right? If he's a Hebrew God, then he would have a Hebrew name. It can be translated into English. You understand? Because whether or not, if I have a Chinese friend and his name and I speak to him in English and he could understand English, I would call him his name, his Chinese name. Same thing with Spanish. When I conversing with my Spanish employees, right, I'm not gonna say, hey, your name translated so and so in English. They're not gonna think to that because that's not their name, right? So it's the same thing with the Lord. It's just natural common sense. So whether you think it translate to English or whatever thing before, it doesn't matter. It does not matter, right? Let me just screenshot this because I was supposed to send this for someone as well. The same guy, right? But as we get the understanding of that, right, let's move on here to John. Right, I'm gonna hit these scriptures on nail on the head right now. It's John 17 and 6. It says, I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, and though thou gavest them me, and they have kept my word. Right? Why the Lord have to manifest his name? If it is his name is already known throughout the whole world. Make it make sense. Right? The Lord manifests his name. Right? The word manifest means what? To make known. Right? Because when I go to Amos 3 and 7, the Lord said what? Surely the Lord power will do nothing but to reveal it his secrets unto his servants the prophets. Which part of those secrets is his name? Because as we just read in Ezekiel 36 that the Lord had pity for his name, so he hid it. Right? So if it is the Lord revealing that unto his servants the prophets, is who you think going to reveal his true name, not the prophets? And this is what we're showing you. We went in history, right? The meanings, all these things behind the words, showing you back and front to cover, back to cover, or whatever you see, proving that the Lord name is Yahweh Bashmir Shai, and just you people just can't receive it. You understand? But even the explanation I gave earlier is a simple understanding. Like whether you choose to believe it or not, right? You can't deny that is facts. You can't deny that is facts, right? So if you want to still call on Jesus or whatever, hey, be my guest. You are the ones that are going to get cut off and killed. You understand? And actually, you have to get that precept, but let me jump back in it, John here. John 7, jump down to verse 25 first, right? It says, John 7:25, it says, then said some of them of Jerusalem, is not this he whom they seek to kill? But lo, he speaketh boldly, and they say nothing unto him. Do the rulers know indeed that this is the very same Hamashiach? Right? Howbeit we know this man whence he is, but when Hamashiach cometh, no man knoweth whence he is. Then cried Yahushua in the temple, as he taught, saying, ye both know me, and ye know whence I am. I am not come of myself, but he that sent me is true, whom ye know not. But I know him, for I am from him, and he hath sent me. Right? They don't know, because why? Remember Yahushua, when he come, he have to teach them. Right? They have to teach. He had to teach the disciples this word and whatnot. Right? So they didn't know Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You understand? Of course, they didn't call him Jesus. You understand? But we, in other words, we had to have the name to get saved. Right? That's the whole purpose of me reading this part. We had to have the name to get saved. Not saying that they didn't know it back then. Right? But that is the importance of it. They have to know the name to get saved. Right? Because as I was going to Zechariah 13 and 8, and it says what? And it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call upon my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people. And they shall say, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is my power. Right? So, let's jump back to the Proverbs 18 and 10, where it said, the Lord's name is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it. Right? So it's speaking about the one-third here being brought through the fire, which is those afflictions. They will call upon the Lord's name. So they will be the righteous running into the Lord's name. And the Lord say, gonna save them. They're gonna say that, we're gonna say, hey, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is our power, and he's gonna say, hey, this is his people. Because why? You claiming Yahweh Shem Yahushua because you're calling upon his name, right? If you're calling upon Jesus, which is our next person, our next entity, and if that person don't come true to you, you expect Yahweh Shai now to say, you know what, even though they didn't accept my name, they still Israelites, I'm gonna save them. No, the Lord's gonna kill you, because you calling upon somebody else to save you when it is you're supposed to be calling upon him. You understand? When he's the one true power, right, and not Jesus. So if it is he now coming back to save his people and kill all the rest, then so be it. Because your God that you're calling upon cannot save you from him, because he's no God. Right? The scriptures say the gods of the nations are idols and is no God. Something to that effect. Let me double check it. Right, Jeremiah 2 and 11. Right, I'll read it quick. It says, had a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods, but my people have changed their power, so like they have changed their glory for that which do not profit. Right? So the Lord saying, he asking a question, did the nation change their gods? No. Because every nation stuck with a god from since the beginning. But the Lord even went on to say, but they're not even gods, and they stick loyal to those gods, those idols. Right? But the Lord said, his people, switch upon him, to serve after those same gods. When really and truly, all the blessings and whatnot that these heathens getting, they thinking is their gods, but that's not all coming from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You understand? And that's what they don't understand, but it's not the understanding. It's not for the heathens, it's for Jake. But the Lord don't want you to serve him through those idols. He wants you to serve him directly. And that's where you're going off. So that's why you're getting punished. That's why we're at the bottom right now. You understand? The heathens doing what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to worship them. The Lord don't want them to worship him. He wants us to worship him. And if you can't do that, what do you think gonna happen? You're gonna be put to death. Alright? Let's read the book of Psalms. From back here. Psalms 91 and verse 10. says what? There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, and the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Why? Because he had set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he had known my name. So the Lord said, gonna do all this was just because we know his name, and not just a matter of we knowing the name, because I mean, men like Bishop Nathaniel, they know the true name, but they're not calling and teaching the people that's the name, right? So the Lord said, because we know his name, because we read the Amos 3 and 7, he revealed it unto us. John 17 and 9, he manifests his name unto us, right? So therefore what? They gave us, right? Yahweh gave us their name to in order to call upon him in times of trouble, so he could help us. You understand? So we need the name to get saved. Verse 15, it says, he shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. And that's what we're hoping for, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Alright, because remember, we're in captivity. And what the Lord say about that? This is Baruch 2:29. It says, if you will not hear my voice, surely this great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, right? Where I will scatter them. And you remember that happened, right? We were scattered. Say, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of the captivities they shall remember themselves, right? So we wake up to the truth, knowing that, hey, we are Israelites and X, Y, and Z, right? And the Lord went on to say what? And shall know that I am the Lord their power, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear, right? Heart, go back to mind. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity. But how we gonna praise the Lord if we don't know we don't understand the truth? Because remember, the truth is made up of everything in the Bible, which is including his name, right? So the Lord say they shall praise him in the captivity and think upon his name. So if it is we already know the name, why would we have to even think about it? You understand? Why would we have to think about his name if the name is already given? Because if his name was always there, and it's just a matter of understanding that Jesus don't love everybody, Jesus just love the Israelites, then that would make sense, because again, that's what the Proverbs 18 and 10 come in. The Lord's name is a strong tower, right? Verse 33 says, and return from the stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sin before the Lord. You understand? And that is it. One more precept here. It is back in the book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 14. Right? It says, offer unto the Most High thanksgiving, and pay thy vows unto the Most High, and call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. Right? So in other words, the Lord saying, hey, call upon him so he could deliver us out of our troubles, right? And ultimately the salvation. But again, how could you call someone and you don't know the name? If you call a strange number right now, you understand, and you don't know the person don't know you, right? Because remember, the Lord turned his back on us, right? So if you call the person, you gotta know who you're calling. You understand? Or even if you're walking on the road and you see someone, someone familiar, and they say, hey, Shania, right? The person will turn around, because they will want to know, hey, who's that person calling me? And then if they see you and they recognize you, be like, hey, my friend, whatever, and you all have a conversation, you catch up. But if you say, hey, Patricia, why would they turn around and answer you? That's not their name. So it's the same thing with the Lord. So if you call on Jesus or whatever it is, you're looking for the next person to answer, while the Lord not even taking you on, because why? That is not his name. And this is the Lord we talking about. Because if somebody called you out of your name, you want to know, I'm like, who are you talking to? That is not my name. You understand? That's the attitude they will give. So much less for the Lord, which His name is way more of higher value than all of our names combined. You understand? The Lord's name literally means salvation, right? So think about that. Think about that. So I hope this lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Till next time, Shalom.